is raising concerns from fans, and pretty much people is demanding answers from none other than WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Let me pull up this picture right here, guys, because this one right here is crazy.
There's a moment circulating right now that has fans furious and demanding accountability from WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Why? Because the footage that's gone viral is absolutely unreal. Caitlin Clark shoved violently to the ground by Ryan Howard.
Clark gets pushed around, thrown to the floor during games, and teammates are standing there just looking, not doing anything. Sophie Cunningham will do something, while other players get a microphone put in front of them, doing their media interviews.
Not a light nudge or accidental bump, but a full-on body shove. And when Clark tried to stand up, Howard continued to hover, practically guarding the ground itself to ensure Clark stayed down. Meanwhile, the refs, they just stood there like spectators in the wrong arena. No foul, no whistle, nothing. It's become obvious. The officials are either blind or just blatantly refusing to call what they see. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Game after game, Clark is getting targeted. Hard contact, elbows, slaps, body checks. The kind of hits that would spark flagrant fouls in any other scenario are just being brushed aside. And what's worse, her teammates often do nothing. They just watch. Silent. Passive.
This is the picture right here that has went viral. Yeah, this is the storybook of Caitlin Clark's season, bro. That's just all I can say. Look at this. Somebody said this shot from the Fever verse.
While Clark takes the brunt of this physical abuse, one player, Sophie Cunningham, actually steps up. She speaks out. She challenges the narrative being fed to the media by head coach Stephanie White. While White tosses out vague statements and protective sound bites, Cunningham is calling it what it is: intentional, targeted aggression. In that game alone, Clark was shoved, yanked, held, and obstructed more times than anyone could count. It was like she was auditioning for an NFL offensive line. Sure, a couple of fouls were eventually called in her favor, likely when the refs realized cameras were rolling. But for every whistle, 3 more obvious infractions were ignored. This is not incidental. This is a pattern, and it's being condoned by silence. Let's look at that image again, the one everyone is talking about. It's from the Fever versus Dream matchup. Clark is passing the ball while on her knees. One defender hovers over her back, imposing.
On her knees, somebody's hovering over her back. Somebody said it's 1 in 15 missed foul calls. This is ridiculous. And this right here shows you that the WNBA referees has...
The caption says it all. 1 in 15 missed foul calls. And nobody can say that's exaggerated. The reality is, WNBA referees are showing an obvious bias. Whether it's jealousy, fear of favoritism, or pressure to avoid highlighting Clark, they're clearly swallowing their whistles. Opponents know this too. They've figured it out. Hit Caitlin Clark as hard as you want, and odds are nothing's getting called. They've turned physical targeting into a strategy, and the refs are letting it happen. Why? Is it because Clark has become the face of the league? Is there resentment over how much attention she brings? Maybe it's just easier for the league to let things slide than to face the controversy of protecting a star.
The big way they were able to neutralize Caitlin Clark, and I think it was almost an issue with Stephanie White as much as anything, is they were manhandling her. They were manhandling Caitlin Clark early in that game. Like, they had 2 hands on her. They were fully...
But make no mistake, what's happening out there is deliberate. Clark is being manhandled, 2 hands on her, full body pressure, all game long. Players are taking liberties with her because they can. And Stephanie White, instead of protecting her star, plays it safe, refusing to make waves. It's absurd, especially when the data backs up the visual evidence. Caitlin Clark has been the recipient of 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA. One player taking almost 1 in 5 flagrant hits. That's not just disproportionate, it's alarming. And the team doing the most damage? The Chicago Sky. 80% of the flagrant fouls committed against Clark have come from that team alone. Let that sink in. 4 out of every 5 times Clark is flagrantly fouled, it's by the same team.
Getting into the we are grabbing her and we don't really care. Like, that was their goal. Their goal was they were out there to maul Caitlin Clark. They had no, they had absolutely
And what's even worse, the calls aren't being made in real time. The refs are letting it go during the game, only upgrading those fouls after review. It's like watching a rigged match. They're not playing defense, they're trying to wear her down. And it's working. Not because Clark isn't tough. She is. But the toll this takes physically and mentally is enormous. Look at the way she's defended, often from behind, hands grabbing her jersey, pulling her off balance before she can even move off the ball. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and it's illegal.
Point into perspective of dancing, bro. Like, this is not real. Like this, well, it is real, but it shouldn't be real. Somebody said ref was just staring. And Kelsey Mitchell in the background was just standing there. I mean, just staring. Wow.
Yet the officials ignore it. The league's allowing guards to get roughed up off ball when it benefits them. And Caitlin Clark? She's become the prime target of that strategy. Still, she pushes through. Still, she leads. Against Atlanta, the Indiana Fever won by 17 points. Despite being hounded all night, Clark delivered 12 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. She controlled the pace, directed the offense, and led her team to a statement win. She didn't need to drop 30. She orchestrated like a floor general, managing every possession with poise. Even without hitting deep threes, she dominated. And after the game, she said it herself. This was one of her best performances in terms of running the team. That's growth. That's leadership.
They're not out there to play legit defense. They were there to maul Caitlin Clark as much as they possibly could. And realistically, it worked. It worked. Like, it wasn't even like a lot of the stuff was...
But still, the hits keep coming. The disrespect keeps mounting. Fever coach Stephanie White finally cracked and called the officiating egregious. Veteran players like Sophie Cunningham have taken ejections for standing up for Clark. Caitlin Clark is not just surviving these games, she's shaping them, dominating them, even while absorbing more hits than any other player in the WNBA. And still, the disrespect persists.
There were quite a few situations where it was from behind. So you saw pictures like this. They literally had 2 hands on the back of Caitlin Clark's jersey. So if anytime Caitlin tried to move...
Marina Mabre literally shoved Clark to the ground after a dead ball. That's not basketball. That's assault on the court. And yet, instead of ejecting her as they should have, the refs handed out a soft technical foul. A slap on the wrist. It was a non-basketball act, and it warranted a much harsher penalty. That moment was symbolic of the entire issue. The referees are applying a completely different rulebook to Clark. The league's biggest draw is being held to standards no one else is facing. They say the league wants toughness, grit, physicality, but when one player is taking nearly 20% of the flagrant fouls in the league, you're not promoting toughness, you're promoting punishment. Yet, Clark remains unshaken. Her game does the talking.
The Indiana Fever won by 17 points last night. 17. And this is how they played defense against Caitlin Clark all night. Jordan Canada, career game. Over 30 points.
Even with defenders suffocating her from the moment she crosses half court, she still produces. Even with elbows to the ribs and shoves in the back, she still leads her team to wins. Even while being the most targeted player in the league, she's putting up all-star numbers, 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. Those stats aren't padded in blowouts. Those are earned through relentless work, through grit, through determination. She's been picked up full court, doubled off screens, and grabbed away from the ball. She's being treated like the best player in the world while being penalized as if she's the least valuable. And still, she doesn't lash out.
Despite the fact that Caitlin Clark played limited minutes, 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists, and helping lead her team to a 17-point win. This is how they play defense on her.
She responds by making the right pass, taking the smart shot, and keeping her team competitive. That's what greatness looks like. That's what leadership feels like. And that's why the fans are backing her so hard. They see it. They recognize the double standard. They see the players roughing her up. They see the referees swallowing the whistle. They know injustice when they see it. And they're calling it out with receipts, video clips, foul statistics, play-by-play breakdowns. They're not letting this slide. Because without fans holding the league accountable, Caitlin Clark might still be suffering in silence.
Like, what are we doing here? I tell y'all all the time. Every time people play the Indiana Fever.
But thanks to the spotlight she brings, the WNBA can't hide this anymore. Every missed call, every dirty foul, every non-basketball act is magnified, and rightfully so. The stakes are higher now, the visibility is greater, and Clark's presence is why. She's not just a basketball player, she's a movement. And that movement is exposing the cracks in the league's officiating, the favoritism, and the inconsistency. Let's talk about what Clark did against the Atlanta Dream again, a 99-82 blowout. Despite defenders draped on her all night, she managed the entire tempo of the game. She only scored 12 points, but those 9 assists led to nearly 30 additional points. She played smart. She controlled the pace. She set up teammates perfectly, especially in transition. Players like Aaliyah Boston and Nalissa Smith benefited from the spacing Clark's presence creates. Even when she isn't the one taking the shot, her gravity changes the game.
They do too much. Bree Jones almost took out like 3 people that game. Matter of fact, let's watch it again. Watch the clock. And I bet y'all gonna say, oh, it was an accident. Because every time somebody do something to somebody on the...
That's a generational effect. And what's the reward? Cheap shots, flagrant fouls, missed calls. But Clark just absorbs it and keeps delivering. She gets stronger every time they try to knock her down. Her patience, poise, and professionalism are unmatched for a rookie. Most players would have cracked by now, but she keeps showing up. She keeps balling out. The Indiana Fever set franchise records for attendance this year because of her. They went from irrelevance to must-see TV. The WNBA's most watched games? Clark was in them. The highest-selling jerseys? Clark again. The reason new fans are tuning in and arenas are selling out? All roads lead to Caitlin Clark. And yet, when it comes time to protect her, the league hesitates. They send mixed signals. They promote her, but don't protect her. They market her, but let her get mauled. And somehow, they even managed to snub her for the WNBA 2K cover, giving it instead to Angel Reese. That's not shade, that's a strategic move. It's a statement, a miscalculation. And it only reinforces what fans are starting to feel. The WNBA wants Clark's fame, but not her dominance. They want the spotlight, not the substance. They want the ticket sales without the responsibility. But that's not how this works. Clark is the reason the lights are brighter. She's the reason more people care. She's the reason the game is growing. And that growth came with a price. Every bump, bruise, and non-call she's endured this season. Even more wild, the regular season finale saw the Fever break the league attendance record. 20,111 fans in the building. Most of them were there to see Clark, not just because she's good, but because she represents something bigger, an underdog who's rewriting the rules in real time. The fans chant her name in opposing arenas. Half the crowd in Atlanta was cheering,